everybody. A couple thoughts I wanted to share. I also wanted to say thank you for anyone who donated to the fundraiser. It's doing pretty well. Somebody donated $500, which is pretty amazing. And somebody else donated $300. Those are the top two. And we're sitting at like $1,600 after 3 days. So thank you everybody who has donated. We really appreciate it. I wanted to, being that we're in simulation theory territory, we've been in this territory for a while, but Jason's work more firmly brings this possibility to the forefront. And I know that he postulates that if it's an Ancestor simulation, then likely we came here into the sim in order to find out possible ways to avoid either cataclysmic events, possibly war, possibly solar system problems, or suns getting ready to turn supernova and thus destroy life on planets who are in that system. There are many possibilities for needing to go into a simulation to find out possible avenues of possible remedies for something that's coming up. And if time is contracted within the sim, which it very likely is, then that also extends out the amount of time you have to deal with, the amount of time you have before said cataclysmic event hits. So that's one possibility. That's a very distinct. I think that makes sense. It does make sense. Or another possibility is if it's an Ancestor simulation, it could just be ancient old wrinkly fucks sending themselves back in time to relive their youth, you know? Ancient souls and spirits who have done the incarnative cycle for hundreds of thousands of times, right? Maybe they miss some of the glory days and they're trying to go back, right? Another possibility I want to float today is the possibility of entering into a sim, or rather digitizing yourself, your being, your essence, as almost as an evolutionary leap, or I don't know exactly how to frame my idea. Like, for instance, say if you look at it, say they took the looking glass technology across the gradient of worlds, and what if the looking glass technology found the end point of physicality across all the timelines? Just like they say, the people looking into Yellow Cube and looking glass technology, they saw the convergence point, or the singularity, after which they couldn't really see past it, and it also signaled a loss or a failure on the part of the deep state cabal system, the dark side, etc., of their ability to achieve their plans and dreams, aka servitude of all living beings. So I'm just asking you to take that theory or possibility, or what was actually seen from beings looking into this technology. And also, you don't have to have technology to see into the future. There are some mediums, there are some so-called witches. Even we can see into the future to some extent. But assuming that there was a visible endpoint to physicality, maybe let's just keep it simple. Let's assume there was an endpoint to physicality for whatever reason. Maybe the whole thing just blows up, you know? Well, the digital universe would serve as the evolutionary leap, or the possibility of an evolutionary leap in that instance. So you contract time to just like that old story of the fox and the hare, something like that. I don't know, the tortoise. I always mix my stories up. But the idea of there's some animal or a person running toward an endpoint, and it's a mental exercise. You just mentally get halfway there, measure the next amount you have to go, divide that in half, go to that point, measure the remaining distance, divide that in half, and you just keep doing that. And theoretically, using this method, you will always be moving toward the goal, which is stationary and fixed, but you will never ever get there. So that story may be more relevant when considering the idea of an observable endpoint of physicality beyond which nothing is seen, but there is a way to go inside of time, so to speak, and compact and compress lived experience through digital means, whereby you can extend out, you being just living beings, incarnated beings, you can extend out your life or your possibility spectrum every time you dive into a sim. And the whole go half the distance, measure the rest, cut that in half, go that much, that theory also applies here, because you can incept further within sims. So if you're inside of a simulation and you see that the endpoint is coming, well, you can make another simulation and hop into that one and compact and compress yourself even further and give yourself more time, or more experienced time. And possibly that in and of itself, the idea of incepting further and further to avoid inevitable calamity, is what we've been doing, or what some people have been doing, in order to not die eventually, or and of course this would also explain some of the secret groups that have knowledge that nobody can understand how or where they got it. If these groups went into simulations, lived lifetimes, gathered information, gathered intel, reverse engineered projects, etc., then came back out of the simulation, and 2 hours have passed, well, they have a couple lifetimes worth of info that they've brought back with them, that they acquired on the outside in the span of 2 hours. So anyway, that's just my thought for the day. Let me know what you guys think about that. And we're on the way to North Carolina. We're passing through Nebraska right now. Everything is going pretty smoothly. I know Meredith said something about watch out for the possibility of accidents. We've already seen 3 really bad accidents. Andrea basically saw one happen while she was just we had come up to a bunch of sort of stopped traffic or slowed down traffic, and I looked in the rear view mirror and I saw a shit ton of dust back there. Andrea was like, I just watched an accident happen. She said she saw glass glass flying, like next to the... So apparently there's, according to Meredith, it's astrologically a bad time to travel. Which is kind of ironic because we're doing the biggest move of our lives. But it's alright. I'm sure we'll be fine. Anyway, let me know what you think about all that jazz. Peace!